Have you ever noticed that some people laugh at absolutely everything? Well, I need to start with a truth that almost no one accepts. Not everyone who laughs is happy. Sometimes, the person who laughs at everything is on the verge of falling apart. Yes, I know that sounds exaggerated, contradictory. And what if I told you that laughing at everything is a form of desperation? Yeah, that line is much deeper than it sounds. But stay with me, because what I'm about to show you isn't obvious, isn't light, and isn't what the internet usually romanticizes. You're going to see easy laughter in a completely different way, and you might even rethink someone you know, or maybe rethink yourself. But before that, a warning. What I'm going to show you now no one ever talks about, because it's uncomfortable. And when it comes to discomfort, the internet runs away. We grew up admiring people who are happy all the time. People who never complain, never break down, and always answer with a joke. But let me tell you something. Sometimes, the funniest person in the room is the saddest one. Why would someone laugh all the time, even when it makes no sense? Why does laughter show up even in serious moments, as if it were automatic? And the most important question, what is this kind of laughter trying to hide? I'm going to show you the psychological mechanism behind it, why it appears, what it protects, and how to identify when laughter is real joy, and when it's a silent cry for help. But first, you need to understand how this kind of laughter is born, and why it becomes so convincing. From this point on, everything will start to make sense. Constant laughter doesn't just appear out of nowhere, it's learned. And most of the time, it's learned far too early. Many people who laugh at everything grew up in environments where showing sadness was forbidden, where crying annoyed someone, where showing fragility had a price that was way too high. So the person discovers an emotional shortcut. If I laugh, no one bothers me. If I make jokes, no one criticizes me. If I seem light, no one will notice the weight I'm carrying. Here comes the first shock. For many people, laughter isn't joy, it's self-preservation. It has nothing to do with being dramatic, nothing to do with exaggeration. It has everything to do with emotional survival. And the most ironic part is, it works. Laughter deceives. It deceives others, and it deceives the person who's laughing. They start laughing to escape pain, but with time, they start laughing to avoid feeling. And here comes a pattern that's far too common. The person tries to be serious, tries to talk about something that actually hurts, but in the middle of the sentence, they laugh, as if their own body were saying, "Don't go there, it's dangerous." This is the moment when everything starts to go wrong, because laughter prevents deep conversations, prevents real connections, prevents asking for help, prevents anyone from seeing the real pain. And the cruelest part? The world applauds it. Wow, they're always so upbeat. She's always so light. With him everything is a joke. But there's one detail that changes everything. And this is where things start to get truly serious. When someone laughs at everything, it's not just a funny or quirky behavior. It's a mechanism so deep, so automatic, that the person themselves can no longer tell when they're laughing and when they're defending themselves. And now comes the part that might be uncomfortable. People who laugh at everything usually carry a constant and silent feeling that they must never be a burden to anyone. They're afraid of bothering others, afraid of being judged, afraid of sounding dramatic, afraid of being compared to people who have it worse. So laughter becomes a quick solution. If I make everyone laugh, no one will notice that I'm falling apart. And if this has ever happened to you, pay attention. It's not your fault. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you learned how to survive in the only way you could. But then something unexpected happens. People start using your laughter as an excuse. If you were really struggling, you wouldn't be laughing. You never take anything seriously. You're too strong for this. You always figure things out. And do you know what the impact of that is? The person starts to believe that no one would tolerate them if they were truly themselves. They think, if I stop laughing, they'll throw me away. If I show my pain, they'll call me dramatic. If I fall apart, no one will know what to do with me. And this is exactly the point where the situation becomes dangerous. Because laughter is no longer a reaction. It's a prison. When you understand what comes next, everything will make sense. Because up until now, you've understood the mechanism. But you still haven't understood the price it demands. This is where laughter stops being just laughter and becomes the biggest sign of emotional desperation. The most important point is this. People who laugh at everything often don't know how to feel anything else. Laughter became a reflex, an automatic response, an emotional block so strong it turned into identity. The person doesn't know how to receive affection without making a joke, doesn't know how to have a serious conversation without laughing halfway through, doesn't know how to confront their pain without turning everything into humor. And do you know what that creates? A silent distancing. On the outside, everyone likes them. On the inside, they feel disconnected from absolutely everyone, because no one actually knows them. And the worst part is, the bigger the laughter, the bigger the emptiness it covers. It's as if the person learned that being funny is safer than being real. And do you know what happens when that mask starts to crack? The person feels fear. Fear of being found out. Fear of seeming fragile. Fear of admitting that, deep down, they are not okay. But there's a brutal truth here, and it closes the main gap in this whole topic. No one notices the suffering of someone who hides everything behind a smile. Because laughter erases the evidence of pain. And that creates a huge problem. How do you ask for help if everyone believes you're always fine? So what do you do with this? How do you help someone like that? And how do you help yourself if that someone is you? Now you understand the full picture. Why some people laugh at everything. Why that laughter shows up even in serious moments. Why it's so convincing. And why, deep down, it can be a silent cry for help. So let me give you the final truth. The one that closes everything we opened at the beginning. The problem was never the laughter. The problem is when laughter becomes the only emotional language a person knows. If you know someone like this, don't treat their laughter as being fake. Don't treat it as immaturity or overreacting. Most of the time, that person simply never learned how to exist any other way. And if that someone is you, understand this, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you built a brilliant defense to survive things that maybe no one knows you went through. But even if laughter protected you back then, it doesn't have to protect you forever. What you can do, in a simple and human way, is pay attention to the silence between the laughs, because that's usually where the truth appears. Show the person that they have a safe space with you, someone who can listen to their serious side without judgment. Validate without pressure. Something like "I'm here if you want to talk" is already enough. And if this is about you, start with small bits of honesty, a short sentence, a light admission, a simple truth. That alone is a huge step. If this kind of truth helps you understand people better, and maybe even understand yourself, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Here, we talk about what no one has the courage to talk about, but in a way that transforms, not in a way that weighs you down. Not every smile is happiness, but every time you see beyond the smile, someone finally stops carrying the world alone. See you in the next video.